Hello, welcome everybody. This is our Liberty What's New webinar today. My name is Susanna and I work as a marketing researcher here at SoftLink IC. I'm also joined by one of my colleagues today to help out with any questions or comments. This, as I said, is our What's New in Liberty webinar, where we'll cover fantastic features and enhancements in our latest releases. Today, we're looking at just a few of the features in our new releases, Liberty version 5, Build 8, patches 54 and 55. This release adds some great new features and of course improves on our existing offering. Features we'll cover today include acquisitions, cataloging, circulation, email templates, Liberty Link, and so much more. Our biggest update, as I mentioned before, for this feature release is the awesome new enhancements we've made to Liberty Link, our mobile app. So stay tuned for a look. During this webinar, feel free to add any questions in the chat or via the Q&A function you can see below. And after this webinar, stay on as we'll host a Q&A session to help answer any other questions you might have about these new releases. Now, remember, you are able to view the full release notes in the help menu and they will look like this. All right, without any further ado, let's get started and have a look at some of the latest feature releases for Liberty. Let's kick off in Liberty with a look at authority terms. I'm just going to go across into my system, so just bear with me for one moment. Here we go. All right. In our cataloging module, so let me just open up our management interface here, and I'll close these little windows down. In our cataloging module in Liberty, we can now make a selection to prevent the selection of non-preferred authority terms when cataloging new resources. But before we show you what that looks like, let's go ahead and change the brand new parameter that controls this feature. Over to management and then parameters. And the parameter that we're looking for is 2040. So let's open up the 2000s and let's scroll down until we come across 2040. And here it is here. So this parameter controls the selection of non-preferred authority control terms. Now the parameter is defaulted to yes, thereby defaulting to the pre-existing behaviour. Let's make an edit to this and change it to no. And I'll click on save. Now let's close this one down and let's head back to cataloging and our resources. And let's go ahead and catalog a brand new resource. So we're going to catalog a monograph. And once my page opens there, I'm going to go ahead and add in one of my authority control terms. I'm cataloging a book by John Grisham. And you can see with the change in that parameter, I've got a number of options that are available to me. However, the only one I can choose is the preferred term, and that is this one here. And I can go ahead and add that and catalog it using my preferred authority terms. Staying in cataloging now, we've now added the ability for you to set the default sort parameter when viewing your weeded resources. Let's head over to our weeded resources and have a look at what it looks like at the moment. So here are my weeded resources currently sorted by their default parameter. If I head over back to parameters, so management and parameters, and what I'm going to do is make a change to parameter 1816, which is a new parameter setting we have added in. Let me scroll down until I find it. Here it is down here, 1816. And if I click on edit, you can see I'm now able to choose from a large list of values to sort my weeded list. It's currently sorted by title, so I'm going to get rid of that. And I'm actually going to add in a new option here, which is called time changed. So let me go ahead and add that one in. And what this will help me do is sort my weeded resources by the time they were changed. That is, when they were weeded. Another great little feature we've added here is the ability for you to toggle between ascending and descending once you've chosen that value. Let me go ahead and change this one to descending because I want the newest ones first, and I will click on save. Now let's head back and have a look at those weeded resources. Back to cataloging and weeded. Let's have a look at my resources here. Haha, you can see that they have now changed their default sorting order. And to show you what that looks like, remember I sorted them because I wanted to see the ones weeded most recently. This one here was weeded just a couple of weeks ago. And if I look at the next resource in my list, you can see that this one was weeded late last year. So what a great feature to help you at a glance check out your weeded resources much more easily. Staying with cataloging, we have now added a bit of extra information for copies that are on hold. They'll now display the borrower assigned to that copy status. Let's head over to cataloging and copies. And I'm just going to do a search in here for some resources. And you can see I've got some statuses applied to these. Some are on loan. This one's available, and a couple more are on loan. Let's go and have a look at how this new feature enhancement will work. Once we put a resource on hold, the borrower's name will appear here. So this feature is triggered when a reservation's been placed for a specific branch or a specific copy. Now, to have a look at this feature, we'll need to open our circulation desk. And I've got a very eager borrower, my friend Joel. Oh, I don't know why I always have trouble typing names. Let's try again. Joel, got him. Here he is. My friend Joel, he's got some fines, but we're not going to talk to Joel about that today. Joel would like to place a reserve on a particular resource. Now, the resource that he would like to place a reserve on is one that has a barcode number that I've remembered, which is B400976. And he wants to reserve this one. Oh, that's not going to work. Sorry. Let's just try this one again. Let me get rid of this one as well. Okay, let's go ahead and pop another resource on for Joel here. So Joel wants to reserve this particular resource. And as I mentioned, this will work if it's the first available from a particular branch or a specific copy. So let's go ahead and request the first available from this branch and click on Add. So let's finish up with Joel now. And what we're going to do is we're going to process a return against that resource. So let me just go ahead and return that resource. And you can see I've been notified that Joel actually has this resource on reserve. Now, instead of choosing issue, which is the option I have here, I'm going to choose reserve. And you might be wondering why. Well, if I choose issue, that would be if Joel is standing right in front of me, ready to take the resource with him. And he's not. So what I'm going to choose is reserve, which means that that'll keep it for him on the shelf or behind the desk or wherever it is that I keep my holds. And he can come and collect it after he's received the notice. So we'll go ahead and click on reserve. And you can see I've got the option to notify Joel. And then I've also got the option to download a wrapper to put on that item to show that it's on hold. Now, if we head back to cataloging and our copies, that'll sit in the management side of Liberty. Let's just refresh our copies here and let's look up those resources again. And you can see that the status for this particular item not only says on hold, but has also nominated the borrower who has the item on hold. So that's a nice little enhancement. At a glance, you can see an update to that hold status. Let's leave cataloging for now and let's check out some features that we have enhanced with our emailing capabilities. What we can now do with other titles in our OPAC search email results is have them available in the email we send out to our borrowers. Now, before we get started, the first thing we're going to need to do is turn on page editing. So let's make sure page editing is turned on. And then I'm going to have a search for that particular email report that I want to modify. Now, it is a big, long string that is a command, but of course, you know that if you would like to, you can pause this and have a look at it later in our recording, or you can contact our help desk and they'll be more than happy to help you out. So let's have a look here. Here's the email that I'm going to modify. And this is the one sent from the OPAC. So if I click on edit, you can see that in my unused fields, I've got the option to add in other titles. So let's move that across and let's bump it right up so it sits just under title. Now I'll go ahead and click on save. And let's head over to the OPAC so we can see what this is going to look like. Now, I know I've got a resource in here that has some other titles listed against it. So let's have a look. It's this dictionary here. Okay, so you can see here that the other title, the original title sits at the top and the other titles sit directly underneath exactly how I've moved it in my screen before. If I wanted to go ahead and email that resource, my email template now contains the alternative titles that that resource is known as. So this is a great way to let your borrowers know that your resource may be known by other titles by an easy edit to your page editing fields. All right, another great email feature I want to share with you is an option to set up a QR code to help make it easier to set up LibertyLink. So let's head back to the management screen in Liberty. And we want to head over to our email templates. So we're already in system and here we are in our email templates. Now, we've got a couple of options here. When creating a brand new email template, you have the option of using this pre-made template, which will insert the coding required to set up a QR code that appears in the email sent out to your borrowers. And this will give them quick and easy access to LibertyLink. The other option you've got is to edit one of the existing emails, and you can do that simply from the edit pencil here. And then if you want to add the QR code in, you can just make some room in here and pop the QR code in there. Now, what will this look like once you have added it in and saved it? Let's head over and I will show you what it's going to look like. Here's an email that I sent earlier, and you can see this is my email template, and here is the QR code that will link my borrowers through to LibertyLink, which is an easy way for them to access our awesome mobile app. We've got some more email changes I want to share with you. We've got 2 new email templates that will help users either reset their password or give them a hint to their login credentials if they're trying to create a brand new borrower account with an email that already exists in the system. Now, to have a look at that, we're back over into the management side of Liberty. So let me just head over there. Staying in the systems area, this time we're actually heading over to reports. And the reports we're after sit here in other reports. Now, when I was having a look at this new feature, the easiest way to bring them both up was to just search for the AnyWord password. And here are our 2 new email reports. Now, what you can actually do here is you can duplicate and then customize these email reports to suit you. So let's go ahead and duplicate one of these. And the first thing I'm going to do is let's give this one a different name so I know it's different. And then as I move down the screen, you can see here's the body of my email and what looks like a whole heap of code. Now, in amongst that, you can actually see full sentences, but this is all the coding that tells us how the email will be formatted. But let's make it obviously different and let's just add hello in at the top. Once I've clicked on save, what I've actually done now is customized this particular report. Now, choosing which one to send out can be modified under management and parameters. And we've got two new parameters that help us manage this. And they are 3811 and 3812. And here they are here. Now, if I go into this parameter, 3811, and I click on edit, you can see I've got the option of sending out either the default email template, which the system has, or the brand new one, which I modified before. So this is a great way for you to be able to customize those notifications to either give your borrowers a hint to their login details or help them reset their password. Now, once you've made those changes, I'll just close out of that. Let me show you what those emails will look like. Let's head over to my friend Joel. He's received one of each, actually. So Joel's tried to register using an email address that already exists in the system. And here's the email that goes out to just prompt him that it's already happened and that here's a hint to his details. And the other email is the one to give him a prompt to reset his password. So remember, those two new templates are customizable under parameters 3811 and 3812. All right, let's leave Joel for now. And let's head back to the management side of Liberty, where I want to show you some great additions that we have made to importing files. The document import, which sits under management and import, so this one here, now supports image files in PNG, JPG, or TIFF formats. And when imported into Liberty, they will use the metadata for either the document name, the artist, or the author, or the image description to populate the corresponding fields of the brand new resource. Now, let me give you a quick look at what that metadata looks like. So let me just show you these particular files on my desktop. So here's some of the files that I want to upload using this feature. And under properties, you can see that I've got some metadata listed here. I've got a title, I've got a subject, a couple of comments, and also some authors. So let's go ahead and import these, and I will show you what it looks like translated across into the resource. So we're going to do a document import. And remember, I'm not going to need to import these one at a time because Liberty can import zip files with multiple files attached. So let's go ahead and find my zip file. Here it is. I'll go ahead and add that in. Click on upload and then finish. And the type of files I'm importing, I just need to make my bib type match that. They are pictures. All right, and I think I'm ready. So I'll go ahead and import those. And here you can see that import is underway, but I'm impatient. I'm not going to wait. Let's head over to housekeeping and let's run that import straight away so we can see our brand new resources. Let's head down all the way to the bottom here to run now. And what we want to run is the background import regular process. I'll click on save and that will start running in the background instantly. Let's head back to management and import. And you can see that that document import has been completed. Let's have a look at the files that we've just imported. And we can do that by looking at the job details and clicking on tag search. And here are my 4 resources imported into Liberty. And you can see some of that metadata we previewed in the file has come across and populated that resource for me. So you can see there's the author's name, a bit of a description, very cute kittens, wait till you see them, and then also the title. So what if we head over to the OPAC now and we can see exactly how they look in the system, because they are ready for people to find. There are a couple of ways that you can find these new resources. One of the little shortcuts I like is under other searches and the new items. And here are my 4 resources that I've added. And because I chose the bib type as a picture, I've got the embedded file sitting there on the screen. And you can also see that metadata has come across quite nicely in my OPAC record. I told you those kittens were cute. Now, the other way that you can do that is, of course, from the OPAC homepage by completing a search. Oh, no, not there. I think I was searching for kittens. Let's search for puppy. I know he'll come up. Here we go. And we search, and there he is embedded along with the metadata. It's a nice new feature. Now, while we're here on the OPAC, let me show you a really nice quick update for all of you out there who are as in love with subpages as I am. We have added the ability to sort your subpage order. Amazing. Under homepage options, you can choose to sort subpages. Now, you can sort them by clicking on the subpage and using the arrows to move them up and move them down. So you could pop them into alphabetical order. But what you could also do is maybe promote the subpages that you know are going to be in the most demand. So let's move case law all the way up to the top and click on save. And you can see straight away that subpage now sits at the top of my list. So that's an easy way for you to adjust the sort order of your subpages as you've added them in. Let's now head back to the management side of Liberty. And we're going to have a look at some enhancements we've made to searching in our system. We've got a new resource field added. So let me just refresh my resources homepage, where we can search for the number of copies we have in the system. Now, the field can track how many copies each resource has, but it's not displayed in the user interface. And you can access it by executing the following search. So let me just copy this copy and let me paste it into there. So what I'm asking for here is I'm asking for the system to return to me any resources that have more than 5 copies. Let's have a look and see what we've got. And here we go. I have got a list of resources here that hold more than 5 copies, but you can see they're not really in an order that makes sense to me. Well, never fear. Let's go ahead and sort them. So let's use my sort feature. And then in my available fields, let me choose copy count and I'll move that across. And what I'm going to do is let me change that to descending because I want the biggest number at the top, and I'll click on sort. And here we have it. All of the resources in my system that have more than 5 copies sorted in number from most to least. What a great feature. All right. Now, back to my presentation where we are going to have a look at some more features and releases, including Liberty Link. So let me just switch back. Let's have a look at some of the latest releases we have made to Liberty Link that marry up with patch 54 and 55. And you can see they include things like Z-Cataloging, Federated Search, search predictions, and more. Now, remember, these will only appear in Liberty Link with the latest releases at a minimum of patch 54. Let's check out Z-Cataloging, which has been added to Liberty Link. Now, this is a streamlined version of what's available in Liberty. So what you're able to do is go ahead and choose your source. And then you're able to complete a search using your phone's camera as a barcode scanner, easily identifying and sourcing that resource based on your source. Go ahead and import the resource as you would on the admin side of Liberty, and you can add a copy as well from LibertyLink, and it's ready to go. Now you can see there's my resource added into the system. And just to make double sure, let's do a search in the OPAC and make sure we can find it. And here it is, my resource ready to go, complete with a cover image. Now, the other way that you can add a Z-Cataloging search source is through either the title, the keyword, or the subject. So let's choose that source again, and then let's add in a subject. Let's go with cats. Who doesn't love searching for subjects that include cats? And here are all my resources back from that Z-Cataloging search. And I can go ahead and choose the resource that I'm after. Of course, it's at the bottom of the list. And then I'm going to add it. And again, I can add a copy. And that resource is ready to go for my borrowers. Easy as that. And it's done, Z-Cataloging in LibertyLink. Let's now have a look at Predictive Search. Search predictions will now appear once you've entered 3 characters into LibertyLink, and you can see it working beautifully on the screen here. I've completed my search and I've found the resources that I'm after using Predictive Search. Let's do another one for something related to medicine or medical resources, and you can see how easily the Predictive Search picks up all of the relevant resources in my system. We've also added Federated Search to LibertyLink. Now, you're able to run a federated search just like you do on the search homepage. Now, one thing to remember, federated search will be run against the search sources in a specific order. They'll be either the borrower's default search sources, if they've chosen some, the library's default search sources, or all of the search sources. Now, these default search sources can be configured via the options provided on the Liberty desktop OPAC. So let's go over and have a look. Here we are with a screenshot of the OPAC, and under the Federated Search tab, you can see you've got the options to save the defaults and nominate which search sources are used for the federated search. Let's move on to our next feature enhancement in LibertyLink, which is our borrower card. We've made updates with the borrower card, which now displays library branding and the facility to update the borrower's image by the borrower. So let's have a look at how that would work. I'm definitely going to change my image to this cute, fluffy unicorn, and it's so easy. It's done. Now, if you'd like this feature enabled, get in touch with our support team and they'll be more than happy to do that for you. All right, next up, let's have a look at some enhancements and integrations we've made to both LibertyLink and Liberty. Bibliotheca Cloud Library is now supported in both LibertyLink and Liberty where the subscription exists within the library for this service. This integration provides access to online ebooks, audiobooks, and those resources are imported automatically via housekeeping. This is a separate module within Liberty, so get in touch with our support team to find out more. The Overdrive loan format selection has also been updated to match Overdrive's new workflow, and that appears in both LibertyLink and Liberty. There are some fantastic features there for our mobile app. Now, remember, these will only be in effect from build 8.054 and onwards. So to wrap up today, can you believe we're almost done? Let's have a look at some other great enhancements we've made to Liberty. BrowZein and LibKey have been added into Liberty. And once set up, you can then link to view journals, and that will appear in your search and your federated search results. Integration is set up through the new parameters you can see on the screen now, 8400 through to 8402. This new functionality does require some setup, so get in touch with our wonderful support team to point you in the right direction. We've added some new custom fields. We've added an additional 25 Boolean fields to our resources, and they are named user flag 2 through to user flag 25. Now, they're not visible by default, and they can be enabled via page editing, similarly to any other resource fields. And my last update for today's webinar, we've now added an option where you can pause notifications on interests. This will hold interest notifications if you're maybe importing a whole bunch of new resources, you might be moving buildings, or you might be closing the library for an extended period of time. Quite a useful feature. But how will it work? Well, via the housekeeping interests run option, as you can see on the screen, there's a brand new checkbox giving you the option to pause notifications. When the interest task is run and the pause notification option is selected, notifications will be accumulated for the newly catalogued resources and then delivered once the checkbox is unchecked. Well, that brings us to the end of today's webinar. As you can see, there's plenty of updates, changes, and enhancements that we've made in these 2 releases. And they include things like acquisitions, cataloging, circulation, email template improvements, and of course, as you saw, our biggest update for this feature release was the amazing new features and enhancements we've added to Liberty Link, our mobile app. We're always looking for ways to improve Liberty. And as always, our support team is ready to help if you need it. So remember to get in touch. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you found this new release update useful.